I mean, doesn't it all
Right.
really just come down to acceptance? Let go or get dragged. Do you ever hear that term?
Yeah, no, I do think that you can get more or less everything out of that. I mean, another way, the other side of the coin is a recognition of impermanence, right? I mean, nothing lasts, right? Everything is always ending, which means you can always begin again, right? I mean, the anger from yesterday isn't here. The anger from 10 seconds ago actually need not be here unless you prolong it, right? So you can always become willing to start again and to encounter the fresh mystery of your being in the world. And the rest is a story you're telling yourself, about the past or the future. The rest is you grinding your gears unnecessarily, right? It's possible to be happy right now before anything changes, right? And there are tricks for recognizing that. I mean, and the Stoics have their tricks, which again are work at a different level than mindfulness. They're very conceptual. A lot of it is reframing. A lot of it's recognizing, say that you know, um, there are lots of bad things that are happening to other people right now that aren't happening to you right now, right? And just think of how grateful you are that's the case, right? Think how much would you pay to be in precisely the situation you're in now, the one you were complaining about to your wife, 5 seconds ago, if any one of a number of things on the menu of suffering had happened, and which haven't happened, right? If you didn't have the car accident today, you didn't get the cancer diagnosis today, et cetera, et cetera. Um, it's e- I mean, the truth is, even in the midst of getting the cancer diagnosis, there's that kind of reframing is possible. I mean, we know we all should know where this is going, right? I mean, we're all going to die, and
What?
if we're the healthiest and luckiest person on earth, right? If we, which is to say, if you could live to be 150 in perfect health, that experience would be one where everyone you love is dying along the way, right? I mean, you can have friends who die at 90, right? And um, again, in the best case. So it's just like this is nobody gets out of here alive. And the question is it possible to live a truly fulfilling and beautiful and creative and ultimately tranquil life in the midst of that certainty of change? And it is, but the thing that gets in the way continually is our thinking about the past and the future. And our thinking is I think I said this earlier briefly, but it very much has the character of a dream. I mean, it is just like, and this is also neurologically true. It's quite similar. It is just like being asleep and dreaming and not knowing that you're dreaming. I mean, which is to say, being totally confused about your actual circumstance. I mean, the moment you get lost in thought, right? The moment you're trying to pay attention to something, the breath or anything else, or the audience is trying to pay attention to the flow of this conversation, trying to understand what I'm saying in this moment. Um, and yet that mere listening is competing. There's something else competing for their attention, which is their own thoughts.
Mhm.
They're talking to themselves too, right? I mean, thoughts are arising, um, which make even just listening to someone difficult. And we all know what it's like. You're reading a book, and you want to read the book, and yet you get to the bottom of a page, and you realize you don't remember anything you've just read on that page because you were just thinking while your eyes were kind of blindly scanning the text, and you have to go back and reread that page, and so we're profoundly distractible. Um, that does is a kind of dreamscape. It is a kind of psychosis, right? It's a real moment of being lost. I mean, you don't know what you're about in those moments when you're just fully identified with the next arising thought, right? I mean, just think of how strange it is to be able to feel bad. I mean, you can think about something that happened 30 years ago and feel bad, right now. Like you can be embarrassed all over again or angry all over again just by thinking about that thing that happened 30 years ago. That's amazing, right? It's like, and that's happening all the time, that sort of thing, right? Or more often you're thinking about the thing that happened yesterday, but it's it's a bad dream, right? So the question is, how long do you want to be asleep and dreaming when it's possible to just be awake and to be enjoying what is true in this moment, which is just that everything is happening all by itself. These thoughts and sensations and perceptions are just appearing. You're not doing any of it ultimately, and this touches the free will question. Um, but anyway, yeah, I hope that addressed something you asked.